Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa syukrillah wa la hawla wa la quwata illa billahil alil azim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Uh, Honorable Professor Dr. Önder Kutlu from Necmettin Erbakan University in Konya in Turkey. And I would like to thanks for the time. This is the end of the Ramadan, even though that we still have time to have lectures for a graduate program in Indonesia. Through the network of Indonesian Universities Consortium on Social Religious Studies, we are taking this opportunity during the end of Ramadan to learn each other. And the quick explanation from Prof. Önder about the situations in public administrations that we can learn from Turkey. Okay, Prof. Önder, time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Ismail Bekki. I would like to thank you for providing an opportunity to meet friends and colleagues through this program, and I'm also privileged to address participants through YouTube now. I mean, there are some points to highlight before starting to give a clear picture of the situation now in public policy and in public administration. First of all, the increasing pressure on public authorities to find better ways of providing public goods and services is very eminent, is very visible now throughout the world, because we have been experiencing crisis, we have been experiencing different challenges from different aspects of public policy. Because public policy and public administration is the main body, main organization to provide public goods and services for respective citizens as well as certain segments of the society. Because public policy and public administration stands in a very central position, all the actors of the society, especially in terms of public policy, this includes judicial authorities, this includes legislative authorities, this includes also administrative authorities of every nation. So public policy is such kind of central issue which involves every other actor in the society. Therefore, focusing on public administration and public policy, public administration, you need to specify your objectives. You need to concentrate on different parts of the public policy. So this involves, in social science, this involves nearly all the subjects of social science, all the subjects of pure science, and all the subjects of health sciences as well. Because take, for example, religious studies, which are related to moral issues and some behavioral issues in a society. Therefore, public authorities, they have certain roles and responsibilities to provide. In some nations, I mean, public authorities, they provide religious services, but in some others, they may be provided by some voluntary organizations. Therefore, public authorities, public organizations, they have to make sure that all the needs of the societies are provided, are met by certain organizations. Therefore, what I would like to say is that public administration and public policy is very important, especially in the days we are experiencing now after the pandemic. We also experienced about 2 months ago very strong, very powerful earthquake. Therefore, all these requirements they put on a very important role on public authorities. Therefore, I mean, focusing on public administration and public authorities may provide certain lessons for the nations and for the societies. My specialization is on comparative politics and comparative public administration, and therefore I would like to pay strong attention to policy learning, lesson drawing, and policy transfer across nations, even within a nation. If there are some good cases and examples to copy, to follow, to learn from, all the nations and public authorities, they are eager to learn from the experience of other nations, because you need to make sure that the differences and different expression of public authorities and public policy within a nation is needed to be understood by the nations, by the actors who would like to learn from the experience of others. Therefore, there are very good opportunities for the colleagues, especially in social sciences, to learn from the experience of other nations. I mean, Turkey is located between the east and the west. Some part of the country is in Asian part, some part of the country is in European side. Therefore, Turkey is regarded as a kind of a bridge between Asia and Europe by some scientists. Their intention is the unification or uniting both cultures and both values, because especially for the last decade or for the last 2 decades, there is a growing attention, especially in the Western countries, to have a look at the experience of the Eastern nations. Therefore, I mean, in economical terms, in social terms, in cultural and in scientific terms, the countries in Asia, for example, like Indonesia, Malaysia, or South Korea, or etc., even China, India, they provide very good examples. They provide very successful examples for the Western scientists, for the Western academics to focus, because as Ibn Khaldun expresses, I mean, the knowledge is no longer monopolized by a nation. At the moment, every nation can have or can establish the conditions, can structure the conditions to advance in science, in technology, in especially in public policy areas. Therefore, especially, I mean, I am a member of European Group for Public Administration, a group named EGPA, and especially for the last 10 years, the attention of the public administration academics is to concentrate, is to especially monitor, observe, and take certain lessons for the European countries. They concentrate their attention on especially the MENA region, for example, Middle East and West Africa. They pay attention Southeastern Asia. Therefore, because the nations, especially the Western nations, so-called developed nations, they do not provide a successful case in academia, in science, technology, and public policies. Therefore, I acted as a Bologna expert in between 2008 and 2009. I was a member of the Bologna team, Bologna process team, the national team at that time, and starting from the beginning of the new era, new millennium, from 2000, I can say, especially European higher education area initiative needed a kind of pressure, especially from the public policy actors, in order to reform higher education structures of the member countries. Therefore, during that time, I had an opportunity. I found an opportunity to focus on different dimensions of higher education reforms. Therefore, our country has been able to learn from the European experience to some extent, and also establish its own structure to others. Therefore, the nations, they need to spare some time to focus on different dimensions of public policy as well. So in order to learn from the experience of other nations, even within a nation, organizations, systems, and structures can or should learn from the experience of their counterparts, even within a nation or across nations. Therefore, especially the pressure on national governments to find ways of providing goods and services in an efficient, effective, and economic way is a kind of impetus, a kind of requirement, a kind of must for the policymakers to shop around, to look around, in order to find better examples elsewhere. Therefore, Therefore, public administration and public policy is a kind of area in which financial issues, administrative issues, technical issues, and all kinds of issues can be combined to provide better services for respective nations. So, I would like to invite colleagues and friends who are following us through YouTube live channel now to raise questions which are and which will emerge in the near future. The questions like the role of technology in providing public policy, the role of technology, for example, in dealing with academia, in dealing with public responsibilities. For example, technology is a very important issue as the society or academia for 4.0, for example, or the developments in IT technology, they clearly lead a kind of impetus for the academics, for the students of public policy, for the students of social science to concentrate on technical issues as well as moral issues, because especially recently, moral issues, the issues like trust, for example, the issues like legitimacy, for example, are quite visible as well in the literature, because nations they may be able to advance in science and technology. They may be advanced in public policy areas, but yet they need to have a look at. They need to keep in their minds the moral issues and legitimacy issues, and these kind of issues which can be packed, can be labeled under the big heading of law and order, as well as human rights, as well as some kind of technical issues. Therefore, my humble advice to our participants is to define a kind of a subject to follow at least the developments in other nations, because sometimes we can be overwhelmed, or we can be submerged by the hectic schedule of our responsibilities. This includes our responsibilities in academic organizations. This includes our responsibilities in terms of raising up students, research and development activities, but we need to concentrate on new issues like, as I highlighted, legitimacy, trust, reliability, and these kind of issues are quite quite fashionable, quite important for the actors or for the researchers in their academic activities. So, Professor, I mean, do we have? Are we going to have opportunity to take questions, or how is
Yeah, as the introductions, maybe we can share only the lecture for the first part, and I will take the questions after this, and then we will have another sessions, inshallah, after the Idul Fitri, since right now in Konya, it is time near to Iftar, Maghrib. So thank you, Prof. Founder, for sharing your idea about this one. And another one note that I can take from this visiting lecture, that actually we already have to learn the experience from another country in terms that what we did already better or in good condition, we can preserve it, and in the same times we can learn from other opportunity. As the first part of the lectures, would you like to have the closing statement for this? And after this one, I will distribute the video to students, and then they can write down the questions, and then in the next part after Idul Fitri, inshallah, we will have another opportunity to have a Q and answer. So please, Prof. Founder.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Ismail. I mean, what I'd like to highlight is to establish a basic and sound research area, especially for the junior scholars, for young scholars. I mean, if they have a kind of research proposal, they can, for example, they can continue. They can go on after this research proposal. If I have time, I would like to share a kind of example research proposal, if I can. If you allow
sure,
me.
go ahead, Prof.
Okay, inshallah. Okay, just I think, yeah. This is my research proposal, especially, I mean, our young friends, if they are interested. I mean, they need to, just an example required by many European universities, many European research institutions. They required a research proposed project outline. You need to have a title. You need to have a basic main research question. You need to have sub questions to deal with different dimensions of the main question. In the aim of the project proposal, what's your aim? What would you like to reach? What's your intention? Afterwards, scope and methodology. They need to specify their scope and methodology. How are they going to study the main question, and outcomes of the research? What would like to expect from a research proposal? Afterwards, the period. When are you going to when are you going to complete the project and the work plan, and scheme, work plan, the months and work plans and the periods, details of work packages, and the funding. Where are you planning to get funding, and these kind of issues. My advice is especially for the young scholars, if they have a kind of research proposal or research project, they can prepare a kind of project outline, and afterwards, I will be happy to find some kind of maybe some kind of funding authorities, some kind of academics, especially in Turkey or in some other parts of in Balkan countries, in Kosovo, Bosnia, or in Portugal, in the UK. So there would be an opportunity for the young scholars to complete, to have a sound project. So for the time being, I would like to thank you for inviting me, and I hope to meet you again, inshallah, after the Eid al-Fitr, especially to talk about different issues as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Onder, for giving us a chance to meet online, and hopefully this is not the end of our communications, because since we are expecting to have another session after the Eid al-Fitr, inshallah. And then the program is already started, that we have a visiting lecture through the graduate program. It is initiated from Pemuda ICMI and IUCSRS to extend the opportunity to have the cooperation in between the universities. Thank you very much, Prof. Onder. Have a wonderful iftar over there, since we are here in Indonesia, already perform Tarwih, and then thank you to very good common insight and sharing idea about the public administrations and Bologna, another idea. And somehow we can learn from these descriptions and these explanations about how actually we can learn each other. Thank you very much for those who are joining live through the Zoom. Thank you. I do apologize if any kind mistakes during to convey these visiting lectures. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Once again, have a wonderful iftar, Prof. Onder.